Hello everyone and welcome again to Vedic Astrology for my continuing transit series. And this transit is going to deal with the period January 22nd to February 5th, 2022. We are also looking at Mercury combust and retrograde and the aspects of the planets or grahas for this period. Join me for a brighter day with Vedic Astrology to guide you over the sea of life.
I ask you to visit my website at zedamostrology.com, share, subscribe, sign up. Zeta55@outlook.com is the email that I respond to. Vedic Astrology will give you the Patra readings, your tarot spreads, your runes, your chakras, and crystals. Sign up and visit zedamostrology.com. For my subscribers and new to my channel, this is my visual and an explanation on the terminologies that I use at zedamostrology.com on Vedic Astrology. It is a division of the sky into signs, the rasi, nakshatras, stars, and padas, so that we have that progression from the rasi or the zodiac sign to the nakshatras, which are the stars, and then to the padas within the nakshatras. And you can read this at your leisure. You can call me, you can email me, you can check my other contacts on zedamostrology.com to understand further about Vedic astrology and how we use it as a tool or a powerful predictive technique that can give you the potential outcomes of this life based on your birth chart.
Okay, we come to, as I always give you, accountability and transparency at zedamostrology.com. It is something I live with through my life, learned to embrace it and share with you now. So that let us see what will be our tarot selections for this period, beginning January 22nd to February 5th. And let us start with the Chakra Wisdom. And that card that divine intervention is choosing for us this period is recovery. And recovery is also aligned to the Ajna chakra, which is your third eye or your brow chakra. And it's all about intuition. It's all about psychic and looking beyond what you see so that you know the hidden meanings, the spirituality in it. The element that we are choosing, this week is air. And that period that previously passed for us, ending January 21st, also had the element of air. So again, it's, I suppose, an action based on you and your decision as to which way you will go. Let us see the house that we are going to choose for this period. And that house is the 11th house, the house of gains and losses, the house that you either work for or you don't, where you get gains through your own efforts or gains through your friends and networks, or losses, vice versa. So again, air is there in your 11th house with recovery. So are we recovering from something? Are we recovering from a loss? What loss did we have during the last period? And the house, or the planet that we have here now is the North Node. And that North Node is Rahu. And where is Rahu right now? In Taurus. And Taurus is the original second house of finances, banks, commerce, trade. So this is an interesting set of cards that Bhagwan is sending for us. Oh dear. It's too many cards that fell for us to see, let's choose one. So I'll just continue with the shuffling of the pack to get the deity now. So let's see which deity we are going to get for this period, January 22nd to February 5th. And let's see. That deity, let's see, is Bhadrakali. And that is the card. Oh no, I seem to have pulled two cards. So let's put it back down and right. The card is really Kalki. So the deity that we have is Kalki, and Kalki is the 10th avatar of Lord Vishnu, who will come to bring back balance to the world, you know, when we need him to help us be saved or save the world. Kalki will be riding in on his white horse, saving us from total annihilation, total destruction. So this is something, you know, we got recovery, then we got air, we got the 11th house, we got Rahu, which is an illusionary card, a delusional card. And again, my hand seems to have butter today, but we continue. And then we got Kalki. And so there seems to be a theme of recovery and help and determination here, of strength, you know. So let us see where this takes us. And again, I'm going to use the tetractys spread. You know, I'm comfortable with it. It tells us a lot about the cosmic, about the universe, about our material world. So I like to use it. And the first card here is the devil. So the foundation of this reading is the devil. The next card is the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles. So two aces. So are we beginning in new relationships, new resources? Then we have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. We have the Six of Swords. Then the Seven of Swords. So all these are air cards, intellect. What is it our mind is telling us? Then we have the Hierophant, which is the High Priest. Not the High Priestess, the High Priest. Then we have death, an ending to something. What is it ending? Then we have the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles, and the final card is the Five of Swords. So we have swords, pentacles, and some external cards for this tarot spread. Let us see where it's going to take us. Okay, we are here at the transit of the Grahas for the period January 22nd to February 5th, 2022. And what we see here is we have the ascendant in Sagittarius. Mars is there in Sagittarius. Venus is there retrograde, also in Sagittarius. Mars is in Mula Nakshatra and Venus is in his own Nakshatra, Purva Ashara. And Venus is also the Amatya Karaka. So whatever your soul desires from January 22nd to February 5th, it will be through Venus that you are going to get it. You know, Venus will be the vehicle in which you will have your soul's desire. But the Amat, in fact, the Atma Karaka is Saturn. And Saturn is in Shravana Nakshatra in his own house, which is Capricorn, and he sits in Moon Nakshatra, which is a Lord Vishnu Nakshatra. So Saturn is all about maintenance and sustenance, or sustaining whatever the status quo is at this point in time. And remember, Capricorn is also the sign of governance, of institution, of government, you know, of the masses. So that this is what we have to see and understand, and how it will affect us. Sun is there with Saturn and also Mercury retrograde. In the last period, we had Venus retrograde and combust. This period, we have Mercury retrograde and combust, because Mercury is at 11 Capricorn and Sun is at 9 Capricorn. So they are just 2 degrees apart. So what does that tell us? We have to look back at what we said. We have to be careful of what we want to say and to whom we are saying it. And, you know, we might have a little bit of anger issues. We might have a little bit of ego coming into us there. But at the end of the day, Sun is in a kind of a weak state right now, because Sun had entered Capricorn on the 14th of January, bringing to us what we call Makara Sakranti. You know, and Sun is a bit weak in Capricorn, not because of Shadbhala, but really because he and Saturn are not true enemies. He is not, or holds no enmity with Saturn, but Saturn does hold enmity with him. And if you look at my blogs on my website zedamostrology.com, you will see where I talk about Saturn and how he came about with his limp and his birthright and how he was treated. So that is what we have to look at. We also have Rahu and Ketu here. When moon moves across to Sagittarius and beyond in the next couple of days, then you will have a true Kal Sarpa Yuga. But this Kal Sarpa Yuga is really Kal Amrita Yuga, where this is the head of the dragon, this is the tail of the dragon. So Rahu is the north node, which we pulled in the tarot spread, and Ketu is the tail. And all of the planets here, when moon moves across, will be just before the mouth of Rahu, because remember, Rahu moves counterclockwise, not clockwise like the planets. So Rahu will be moving this way, and all these planets will come into the belly of Rahu sometime when Rahu comes around to probably Pisces or Aries. But within the next 2 weeks, moon is going to move, and then we'll have this Kal Sarpa or Kal Amrita Yuga that we call, and it's all about spirituality. It's all about not the material world, really. It's all about us growing, us learning, us understanding that we need to let go of certain things to grow. Some things need to come to an end for us to grow, and this is what Kal Sarpa Yoga is all about. It is, delays, obstacles, yes, but there is an end to the longest rope, as we always say, and that is what would happen here. And I would just like to bring to your attention what I always speak about and what my video spoke about in terms of the explanation as to why I don't give predictions as per your rising sign or your Vedic astrology Kundali birth chart. Because let's take the ascendant here in Sagittarius. And if we take the ascendant of Sagittarius as it is reflected here in this chart, then immediately I will tell you that for this period, you have to look at your 8th and 11th bhavas. And that will be Libra and Cancer, right? So that whatever planets you may have in Cancer as your 8th house, that will bring the transformation, and if it's activated, then that will be pertinent to you. Also the 11th house, what planets do you have in the 11th house? And Venus is the owner of this house, and Venus is sitting with you retrograde. So does it mean that some of your leisure and beauty items or the pleasures that you want, you are going to gain them, you are going to get them, you are going to enjoy them, and that is because we are treating Sagittarius as the ascendant. But if we treat Pisces as the ascendant, then if your ascendant or Lagna is in Pisces, then Cancer becomes your 5th house and not your 8th. And that tells a totally different story, because that is all about power. That's all about merits from the past life. It's all about you being emotional, because this is Cancer. And what are the aspects on your 5th house? So this is why I don't do predictive astrology. I do a general predictions on this website, that you get a sense of what could happen and what the planets may be signifying for the period. So your Kundali, your birth chart, is really important. We must know your specifics for us to focus on you. Otherwise, we are just giving you a general idea of what is happening and not really, a true picture for you. So take these videos as a learning point, as you understanding the potential of Vedic astrology and what we as astrologers can do for you when we have your particular information that you will send to us under confidential cover. Think about it. Okay, we have come to the energy cards, and We had pulled with divine intervention and Bhagwan's blessings. We had pulled recovery, which is aligned to the Ajna Chakra. And recovery is all about something that you lost or something that you have never used. You now have the key to it. You know, you now have the key to this recovery. Is it an inheritance that you are going to get? Is it something that was long buried that is now coming to the fore? What is happening with you? And you know, in our last uh, chart, we saw the transit of the grahas, where if you were the Sagittarius ascendant, the 8th and the 11th house will be prominent. So that the 8th house is all about transformation, it's all about rebirth, regeneration. So what is it you are going to recover? And you know, you have to use your intuition for this, because this is recovery. We then had the 11th house, and the 11th house is all about freedom, association, your circle of friends. It also deals with income, gains, profits, you know, prosperity, long-term desires, fulfillment of those desires. You're getting good news. It deals with communities, your favorite club, your favorite community life. And it also deals with your elder brothers and sisters and air travel. The downside to this, though, is that the Lord of the house, it brings diseases and difficulties. And again, if we go back to what we were seeing in the previous slide, where Venus is sitting with the ascendant and is also Lord of the 11th house, Libra, it tells us that Venus is going to bring difficulties to us. Venus is going to bring difficulties to our 11th house of income and gains. So that, you know, this is how we have to read the cards. And air is all about the intellect. Air is about communication. Air gives you those pathways that help us to grow and develop and learn. And this is what we pull to air, you know. And what is it we have to learn? What it is we have to use our intellect with. And with Mercury and Sun sitting in Capricorn with Saturn and Mercury retrograde, what is it we have to communicate? It's telling us to use communication wisely, use communication in a way that will get us recovery from whatever, or that we can recover something that our 11th house is giving us. So let's think about that for the period January 22nd to February 5th. The North Node in Vedic astrology represents Rahu, who is a mathematical point in the sky that deals with the head of the dragon or the head of the snake, you know, head of the beast, as people might want to coin it. But it also tells us to have faith in ourselves, you know, do not worry. Now is the time to have your benefits, and the benefits come from the 11th house. But it probably is also telling us, you know, um, we are worrying about finances, we are worrying about, you know, probably what is in the future, what we have to end, what is going to die, what we may have to give up. But it is just an illusion. We have done the work, we have set our foundation, we have given ourselves a reprieve from this. Don't let Rahu, the great deceiver, cloud your judgment. Use Mercury and Saturn, who both sit in Shravana Nakshatra, ruled by Lord Vishnu, and it is called the star of the learning air, which means that we have to listen to our inner self. We pull recovery, the Ajna Chakra, aligned to it. So that is all about our intuition, our psychic abilities, what we have that gut feeling about. As we say here in the Caribbean, what our belly tells us, you know. So think about that, understand that it might just be that you have mental games playing with you this period, that mentally you need to strengthen yourself and not communicate through words but through actions. And Kalki is there as our hope for the future. We have pulled Kalki, who is going to destroy the Iron Age. And the Iron Age speaks about all that could go wrong will go wrong, because right now greed and material resources are what people want. They are not looking at the spiritual side of it. But within a couple of weeks, when Moon moves across to Scorpio and Sagittarius, we will have the Amrita Yoga. And it tells us to deal with our spirituality, our guidance from the gurus, what the devas are telling us, the messages from Bhagwan. So this is the first message that is starting us off on that journey that will bring Kalki to us, that we will not be totally destroyed in this life, that our world will have some kind of hope in it. Because Kalki is there on the white horse, coming to balance the destruction with spirituality. Okay, we are going to align our tarot selection, which we selected with our transit of grahas, and the foundation of the tarot spread for this week, the tetrastic spread, is the devil, the number 15 in the tarot cards. And the devil is all about suppressing our spiritual side and bringing forward our material side, in that we want to be chained to the material resources. And at the end of the day, this is what is happening. When the devil appears, he has a powerful influence on us because we are so greedy for the material world and for the pleasures and leisures that Venus can give us. Venus is retrograde, so there is going to be some hold back on that. Venus, if we look at Venus as the graha that is in the ascendant in Sagittarius, then the 11th house is Libra, so that we are going to get difficulties. But we spoke about the spiritual side. We spoke about the Kala Amrita Yoga, where Rahu and Ketu is there going forward to eat all the planets and bring them into his belly. But they're not there yet. We have the potential to be spiritually guided. But do we want what the devil wants to give us? The devil would have you believe that money can buy you everything, such as friends, love, happiness, career, etc. And that's all about the 11th house, the rock star lifestyle. He lacks morals and principles and standards and encourages you to do the same. The end justify the means as far as the devil is concerned. And whatever means necessary that you have to use is what he wants you to use. And what is this devil? What is the representation here? It's Rahu. And where is Rahu coming from? Rahu is right now in Taurus, in the material world, in the sign where we talk about banks, money, trade, material resources. And the devil leads us to believe that we have no choices in life. But the air element tells us that we have choices. We can use our intellect, we can use our mind, not let it be suffused by what the devil wants us to believe. He is constantly after material gain and rubs his hand in glee as he attracts many followers. So are you going to follow Rahu, or are you going to look at the messages that Bhagwan is sending you for this period to be spiritually inclined, to be guided by the gurus and the devas? Because once the devil has you hooked, he has you reeled in. His demeanor changes, and from behind his back, he pulls the long lengths of chain, which proceeds to coil into loops. And then he uses the mace and all the other elements that he has at his disposal to keep you chained. But right now you are getting a messages from Bhagwan that you don't have to be, you don't have to be chained. You can let yourself loose by using your mentality, by using your intellect. Mercury is there retrograde. Think long and hard about what you want in this life, what you want in your life. And this is the message that the devil here is telling you in the tarot spread that we are pulling. But this, remember, the devil is the foundation. He is the premise of the entire tarot spread. So that is the choices we have. Spiritual world or material world. The choice, as I always say, is yours. These next two cards depicting the Ace of Cups and Ace of Pentacles in the positions of dark and light just supports the foundation. These are the choices that you have. What is the cosmic reaction to your state of being? in terms of your choice. And cosmic reaction is giving you love, giving you good news, telling you, you know, they are just as emotional as you, that all the love and happiness and that foundation is there. That's the Ace of Cups. It's all about your feelings overflowing, your love, happiness, community, you know, but it could also be depression, you know, illness, sickness. So what is it that the cosmic forces are telling you? They are telling you good news is coming, you know, they have your back. And the light, which is the cosmic forces guiding you, deals with the Ace of Pentacles, which is all about your resources, which is all about your abundance, your financial stability, your financial security. And two aces together usually means a partnership. So you are emotional about your finances, about your financial security. But it's good news. It's good news about your financial stability for the period January 22nd to February 5th and beyond. Message here in the Eight of Pentacles, Six of Swords, and Seven of Swords depicts or represents the destroyer, the sustainer, the creator, which is Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Brahma. And in the Lord Shiva position of the destroyer, we have the Eight of Pentacles. But it seems to be a contradiction in that here it's shown where you are building your reputation, you are building your finances, you have success, you are committed, you have financial security. This is what you have to destroy. Is that it? Or is it that you have worked and trained and researched and been productive? And I believe that is where we should go with this, in that you have worked hard. It's time for you to take a rest. You know, you have to take a rest and stop thinking about what you have built in the past and what you have continued to build and the contributions you have made, because it was not appreciated. It was not appreciated, and now you have to build something new. And you have to build something new by traveling somewhere, you know, by sustaining and maintaining yourself through the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords tells you that at the end of the day, you have to move on. You know, you have to progress slowly to calmer waters. You have to find a safe harbor, because where you are now, it's raining on you, it's pouring on you. You know, they want to drown you with these emotions about your finances, about your financial security. But take that journey on that calm water to a new harbor to gain your success. Your guardian angel is waiting for you to sustain you and maintain you. And Lord Brahma, through the Seven of Swords, is the creator. And the Seven of Swords tells you it's all about adaptability, you know, flexibility, where you are ahead of the posse, your resourcefulness. Your resourcefulness will give you, because there you are in the snowstorm with a fire, the wolves are there at your feet, but you are leaving because the wolves are going to destroy you. They're not protecting you, they are sleeping. You are the ones awake and have to take care of yourself. So from that journey of the Eight of Pentacles, you're going through the Six of Swords and the Seven of Swords. So take that travel, take that journey to go to a new harbor, a safe harbor, and you will have the swords to protect you. You will have swords on your back and you'll have swords in your hand, notwithstanding that there is a snowstorm. You will be safe and you can take steps away from the danger. Okay, so far we have been dealing with the spiritual world. Now we come to the material world. And remember, those are the choices we have with the devil as the formation. And again, remember, we have the transit of the grahas with Venus there, giving us all well with the material world. If we look at him in Sagittarius retrograde and the ascendant as in Sagittarius. But remember, this is not specific to you if your ascendant is not Sagittarius, so if you are not a Sagittarian. So let us see what the material world in the card is going and how it's going to align for us. And the first card we have is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is the high priest in the tarot spread, where you have the supplicants there with the moon, one with the moon on her back actually, and the Hierophant there has a whip in his hand, but he's very calm. He says nothing. He's just seeing. He's the high priest. How is it we are coping with the everyday life? We are coping with the everyday life by communicating through our spiritual modes. So this is how we cope with the devil for the period January 22nd to the February 5th. We are coping through our spirituality, through the guidance of our spirituality. And how is it we are exploring our emotions? Through death. And death means, that you are having a passage to a new level. There's a transformation in you. So the transformation is from the spiritual world into the material world. In that you have received your guidance, you are taking that journey with the Six of Swords over the calm water to reach that new level where you will be transformed and where you will have your financial security. And the Two of Pentacles tells you that, the Two of Pentacles tells you it's all about money transfers. You are kept on your toes based on your choice between the spiritual and the material world. And here we have the Hierophant and death giving you that choice again, that choice between the spiritual and material world in how we cope every day with life, because that's all we think about. Is God going to help us? Do we pray? Are my prayers going to be answered? Do I pray for money? Do I pray for wealth? Do I just pray for developing? And that is your choice. Some people say that you shouldn't ask for material things in your prayer because it's a spiritual guidance where you have to let go, where moksha is there rather than liberation from the material world is there for you to gain the heavens. But at the end of the day, you also have to live on earth, and earth is not heaven. It's certainly not heaven, not for a lot of us. So that you have to make that choice. Make that choice between the spiritual world and the material world. Are you at that time in your life where coping with the material world tells you that you are seeking divine intervention, or you are seeking the material world to gain financial security? The choice is always yours. Nobody knows what your position is. So don't ever feel bad about making the choice that is right for you. The Two of Pentacles tells you that you'll always be juggling. You are juggling your money. You are not looking down as to where you are stepping or where you are going, because money is on your mind. But at the back of the gentleman on the log there juggling the money is the calm waters with the ships at sea that could take you somewhere that will give you that financial stability you want. So you make the choice that is best for you. Listen to yourself. The swords in this reading tells you your mind, your intellect is at play. You have the intelligence to make it for you. Nobody else can make it for you because nobody is living in your shoes. And then we have the Five of Swords there where, that is your creative force, your will and ambition. You will always be fighting off the wolves. You'll always be fighting off the wolves, but you have the swords at your hand, both hands. You have the mind and the intellect to fight off those wolves coming to you. The fire is there to give you that passion, that action. Mars is there in the first house with Venus right now, if you're a Sagittarius. If it's in your fifth house or your third house, then it means that you are getting help from your siblings or your parent. Your guru. If it's in your ninth house, you are getting help because the fire is there. Mars is there with Venus to give you those luxuries, to fight with you, to help you. There are extra swords there, so even if those two in your hands get broken, you have another three on the ground to help you. And persons may come to your aid. You may have to ask for that help to be however creative you want to be, or to gain the will and ambition that you have. So these are the lessons that the tarot wants us to align with the Grahas transit for January 22nd to February 5th. Think, listen, act, and do what is best for you. Okay, we come back now to the transit of the Grahas for the period ending February 5th. And here we see Moon has moved into Pisces from where he started at in Leo. And we have a full color Amrita yoga now because all the planets are on one side of Ketu and Rahu. And remember, Rahu is moving counterclockwise to the other planets who are moving clockwise. And we still have Mars and Venus in the ascendant, Sun, Saturn, and Mercury in Capricorn, and Jupiter in Aquarius. And the difference here now is Venus is no longer retrograde and Mercury is no longer retrograde. And if we come across to the focus for the period, we see that Sun has a lot of planets or grahas within his Navamsh. Also Venus. Venus has 1, 2, 3, and Sun has 2. So that Sun and Venus are going to play a very important part here, so that your leisures and pleasures could get a boost. You can have that gung-ho feeling of doing something for pleasure, where you have to take that rest. The Eight of Pentacles told you in the material world, to cope, you have to take that rest. You have to stop fighting so hard and being so tedious in your work of building that foundation step by step. You have done it. You have done it. The rains are here, but you have built that foundation. Sun and Saturn here is conjunct, and they will form a Pitr Dosh. Sun is at 23 Capricorn and Saturn is at 22 Capricorn. So that Pitr Dosh is a very bad dosh in the Vedic astrology, and it has to do with elders, and especially males or your father. You may have a relationship issue with your father. You may not get along too well with elders in your home. You can have some kind of death, and we did see death both with the devil, beta transformation, so that your relationship where Venus is concerned now, it's going to probably better between you and your father. But don't hold out any hope at this time right now, because a Pitr Dosh is there, giving you that obstacle, that delay, that negative energy between you and probably your father or elders in your family. And you just need to take your time now, because hope is here. We have stopped with the retrogression. Venus is in full flight now, so is Mercury. So what you want to say, you're going to say it, and you're going to say it right. What you want in pleasures and leisures, you are going to make the choice for that, so that you will gain some happiness. And the cards tells you that this happiness could be lasting, but it is all on you. You are the master of all you survey at this point in time. You are the master of your future. You have to make the choice that is good for you. Whether it's moksha, whether it's Mars in the material world, the choice is yours to make for your happiness. Don't let anybody sway you from that. You have the intelligence. The swords are there. 5 of swords, 6 of swords, 7 of swords is there to give you that intelligence, that intellect for you to make that decision. Your mental capacity is full for this period for you to make the best choice for you. So this is what the transit of the grahas are telling you. Rahu is your Atmakaraka. At the end of this period, Rahu might remain your Atmakaraka for a while, but that changes as the moon changes. And at the end of the day, don't be deceived. Don't be deceived by what you see. Look, analyze, and make your decision. You have the capacity for it. As always, I can't do this without Bhagwan's blessings. And it's just a reminder that we all, no matter our age or the time in our lives, we have a lot to learn, we have a lot to share, and we can have compassion. We should have compassion. And the summaries and analysis here can be targeted for you or specific to you once your report is read. So that, again, I always urge you to visit zedamastrology.com to get your report, so that we can target the potential successes and pitfalls for you. I thank you once again for sticking with me, for reading this through with me, for understanding. And I hope you take away something that will enable you to make your life better and healthier. Thank you very much, with Bhagwan's blessings, and see you next time.